So he was going through a phase in his career where he had to come up from a young Usher to an older Usher.
It took a great deal of support. It took my mama, it took my grandmother, it took my nanny, it took my family members to, just continue to encourage me.
I got this opportunity to do this, and I was this. I was at the lowest point of my life, and then I met this man, and then all of a sudden my record went platinum. We're never gonna hear artists come out and male artists come out and say, I did homosexual things with Puff Daddy. No one's ever gonna come out and say that.
Who's to say that, the thing that happened, but they did not say nothing because they know if they say something, down comes the lights.
Welcome to the Holy Duo. Today we've got a saucy topic for you guys. Pause. Is that pause? Might be pause.
Yes. Hey yo! It might be.
We pause even when we're not sure. But pause. Usher recently did an interview with Club Shay, and he was talking about stuff. The interview was boring for the most part. I was like, yeah, this isn't really interesting until he mentioned being trained by the one and only Puff Daddy.
Hey yo!
Hey yo! At a wee age, in his teenage years, we're going to take a look at the video, and then we're going to find an article or two talking about that detail, and you guys can paint the picture for yourselves. I already kind of have a picture painted for myself because I understand how this stuff works, but we'll see. Let's jump into it.
And then after that, I lost it. And trying my hardest to not lose my mind in that and become like depressed, like fall into a deep depression. It took a great deal of support. It took my mama, it took my grandmother, it took my nanny, it took my family members to, just continue to encourage me. And I managed to make it through it. The people who managed to stick around, the people that I was working with at the time, a lady by the name of Shirley Riley.
Oh, so real quick.
Amazing.
This is when he was going through his growing years and his voice was changing and he didn't have that young Usher voice anymore. He was growing up, so his voice changed, and I think he was going through a hard transition of basically. Why are you laughing, man?
Hey, you said transition. These days we got to make the I know you're about to elaborate more, but as soon as you say transition, everybody think it's one thing. But go ahead.
So he was going through a phase in his career where he had to come up from a young Usher to an older Usher. Voice change. We all grow up. And he was having a difficult time accepting the fact that he couldn't really sing the same anymore. So this is what he's talking about, going through that phase in life and being depressed about it and all of that stuff and people supporting him. And I think he lost his voice. He couldn't sing. Maybe he got sick, but something happened to his voice where he couldn't really sing like that, like the same.
Coach as well, but working with Kawan Prayatha, who was the person who I worked with at the time, Shanti Das, these people who, were kind of appointed for me to work with, they didn't give up on me. They continued to see something bright in me. L.A. Reid, they continued to
choppy.
invest
there we
in
go.
me.
It just got
working with vocal coaches and continued to help me find my way. Sent me to New York City to work with Puffy. It was just like, okay, we're not giving up. We still believe in it.
How difficult is it as a child to find topics to sing about? Because you're like 13, 14, you can't be singing about this mature stuff. And you're not a gangster rapper. You ain't shooting up the club and talking about this bee and this garden tool and all that. So was it difficult?
This garden tool.
Was it difficult for you to find material? Come on. Was it difficult for you to find material to sing about?
Yeah, it was like pips and garden tools. Man.
Hey, hold on real quick. That laugh that Shannon does is the same every time, man.
It's the same every time.
I didn't have to worry about that as much. I think they spent time with me. It was funny. Eddie Bishop and Tim Thomas, the first two producers that I worked with, we just posted something. And I look back and it's like, man, so great that you on the road to riches, you stop and take pictures
Mhm.
because it actually just takes you back to that moment. I almost forgot about, just the hope in my eyes and the fact that I was just a little kid.
Right.
But here they are trying to make songs for me about being a Mac. I don't even know what a Mac is. You know what I'm saying?
A Big Mac.
Truck, a Big Mac. Like, nah, but I think I left it to them
Right.
to help me figure out how to talk. Because I could have easily, became, one of the sensations that would have been locked into being a kid only, had made kid music specifically for kids.
Right.
But I think that they were trying to make music that adults would listen to as well. That was a real smart thing for them to do. And really, it was great to think ahead because it made it easier for me to transition. When I worked with, Organized Noise, when I worked with Puff, when I worked with, those guys, they were trying to tell the coolest young guy's story. The guy who, was kind of having emotions, but still trying to be a young fly player. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I got a little movement here. You know what I'm saying? I talk to women a certain way. They were giving me like, yo, you got to talk to a girl like this. You know what I mean? And, when we do intros, like, yo, you talk over R&B records. Just how you got to talk to them, bro. But, great that I was able to have more mature conversation because I didn't get caught in the kid thing. I wasn't like a kid teen type sensation.
Right.
I was out there trying to figure out how to take my shirt off and show my six pack. You know what I'm saying?
You mentioned L.A. Reid sent you to New York and you live with P. Diddy. They call it Flavor Camp.
Flavor Camp.
Uh-oh.
So what was that
Whoa.
experience like and how did that help Usher's career?
I think I don't think I would be the artist that I am today without the experiences that I had in New York City. One, just being in a new place where I would have to adjust, right? I didn't have the comfort of home. I'm in New York City and they was, done and sunning me to death, bro. And I was like, shout it, I don't know what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? And we finna go over here, you know what I'm saying? And they was like laughing at me because I was Southern and they were like New York, but they was like took me and they took me under their wing, you know what I'm saying? And looked at me like the little bruh.
Right.
I think back to, the earlier times of being there when Bad Boy was formed. I learned something about business. I learned something about artist development in a different way. I learned something about culture. So having the ability to be around all these different cultures of people, it just helped me understand the world that I lived in. I wasn't isolated and felt like I needed to be protected. I wasn't. I was like, yo, we're gonna show you the real ropes, to show you what the world really looks like and give you a front seat. I'm looking at Biggie, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at Craig Mack. I'm looking at Onyx. We running in the streets. We like literally out here seeing how we in barbershop, they shooting dice, you know what I'm saying? Bet I don't, 4-4 out, 4, you know what I'm saying? 4-5, I'm like, yo, what is this? You know what I'm saying? But so great to have had those experiences because one, I didn't have a big brother and my dad wasn't there in my life as a kid. So all these experiences just readied me for life. So greater than just being an artist, that man helped me understand life. He helped me understand what it was to be an artist. He helped me understand what it was to be passionate about something. He helped me understand culture. He helped me understand business on a different level because I'm seeing him go from his independence to then becoming Puff Daddy. You know what I'm saying? And I got a front row seat looking at that. Thank God that I had that experience. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, at New York's hottest moment, you know what I'm saying? This is Terror Squad and Fat Joe. I'm like, how do I know all this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like I can remember being on stage. I can't curse on this, but I was like one of the craziest experiences ever. I happened to be on stage performing with Biggie. And this is back when he had a song called Party and Bull Dung. Cow dong. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, this is crazy. But I was able to take all of that and then begin to understand, oh, okay, I get it. I see what the world is. But now I want to do this my way.
I want to bring up this article that I found because the thing about this whole thing is P. Diddy and his frivolous life endeavors that he decides to go on. Okay. Did I say something?
Go ahead, continue. Frivolous? Okay.
and how this man has caused all kinds of stories to be coming out now. He doesn't care. He's got his money, he's got his assets. But then you begin to hear this artist talk about, I spent time with P. Diddy. This artist talk about P. Diddy and I did this. And then it all starts to come together. And then you
Come
start to
together.
realize. And then it all starts to join together. And then you start to realize that a lot of these things are connected. So let me bring up this article real quick.
Yeah,
And
and what kind of things are we talking about?
so relationships, a lot of relationships are connected. A lot of success stories are connected. A lot of come ups. Man, I had to use that word. A lot of
Yeah.
career
Yeah.
success stories are connected. I got this opportunity to do this, and I was this. I was at the lowest point of my life, and then I met this man, and then all of a sudden my record went platinum. Like a lot of these things are connected.
Speaking about how like you met this dude and all of a sudden the thing went platinum, whatever. The one artist, I can't remember her name at the moment. She essentially signed her life over to, on a contract to the devil, right? And she got on the charts and everything started going good for her.
There you go. It's also crazy too, because you saying that just made me think about this. Ariana Grande just came out with the song that was titled like Yes and it's basically talking about her being in a relationship with a man who was married before, essentially, driving the marriage to end. Maybe if the marriage was going to end, she was, the driving force, because hey, I'm smashing Ariana Grande. I don't need to be with my normal wife and our kids living a silent, peaceful life. I'm gonna be with Ariana Grande, and people were giving her a bunch of crap for it. And she basically wrote a song that like is extremely popular right now. It's doing very well. And the song is based on her saying, yeah, she did it. And why is that song
Yeah,
doing
she
so
did it,
well?
and because it's debauchery. That's why.
Exactly. So you have these really strange things happening. And back in our day, a lot of popular songs came out back in the 2000s, and we're all jamming to it and stuff. Yeah, there's the stuff. And then you grow up 15, 20 years later, you find out that song was made by an artist who was beefing with another artist, and that song was pointed at the other artist, and it's all drama and stuff. That still goes on to this day. So
Oh
when an
yeah,
artist, right? Right?
artist beef is definitely one of them things where it's like, people want to see, and then yes, they make it about the bars and stuff, but artist beef keep people in the game, keep people, on top of the discussion,
Yeah.
kind of in the loop, keep their name alive, type of thing, and bring more relevance. And yeah, it like you said, it still goes on.
Still goes on, man. That's how they make their money.
That's how they make it, man. Just real quick, I wonder how much of that is set up. Like, let's make a problem so that we can have something to talk about. I wonder
I
how
bet
much
some
that
of it
that
is
is.
set up.
I bet some bit of set up too. I'm not gonna be
Shoot.
like, yeah, they set everything up, because I don't think they do that. People get shot over it. So is that a
Yeah.
setup? No, I don't, unless you sign into some kind of weird evil contract where it's like, okay, you're gonna die for this, because this is just the plan. I don't know if that ever happened, but unless they just that evil and they want to do something like that, then okay, then they set it up.
Hey, Kanye said he set up a thing to, give up his mom for riches. That's what he
Well,
said.
I'm talking about beefs though.
Yeah, but you mentioned that, unless these people set themselves up to like off themselves over beefs to make some money. And I'm saying
Oh,
people offer up people for that money. So you might not be far off. They do set up themselves though, like, hey, you're going to sign this contract, but you're going to have to commit this crime, and you're going to have to do some jail time after you sign this contract. But after you do your jail time, maybe you take the fall for someone else or something. After you take that fall, you good. We don't get you that money. What's his name? Bobby Shmurda? He was in jail for a very long time. Dude came out and he's a success story.
Bobby Shmurda.
Why?
Oh, Bobby Shmurda.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that ninja.
Yeah. About a week
Yep,
ago.
about a week ago.
Mhm.
Anyway, dude blew up, man. Like the day he got out of jail, dude was blowing. He was every man. That stuff is
Mhm.
wild. Anyway, so I
Yeah.
found this article on Wikipedia.
Oh, should you share it? See.
Now, mind you, Wikipedia isn't the best source for these articles, but you got to give it up to the documentation that's in here, because what Usher said is what is in this Wikipedia biography about Usher. This is going to take a little bit of reading, but I have to do this to set up the scene for y'all to understand this properly, because if you don't read all of it, you might take some things out of context, and I'm not trying to take anything out of context. I'm just trying to tell you what Usher said, which you heard, and then what this article is saying, what you're going to hear. See me read. I didn't create this article, so let's read it. At age 10, Usher joined an R&B local quintet called The New Beginnings, which was organized by local music promoter Daryl Wheeler. Usher recorded 10 songs with the group in 91, and the ensuing album New Beginning, featuring Usher Raymond IV, was only
Yep.
made available regionally by mail order. However, Patton took him out because, according to her, it was a bad experience. The album was released nationally in 2002. At 13, Usher met AJ Alexander at a local talent show in Atlanta. Alexander, who was at the time was Bobby Brown's bodyguard, would take Usher around and have him perform in parking lots and talent shows. Alexander invited Brian to read, an A&R representative from the LA Face Records, to see Usher perform on the television talent show Star Search. I don't remember seeing that. Do you remember that show? I don't remember that
Star
show.
Search. But I do remember something I saw on YouTube a while ago about Usher doing a talent show when he was younger.
So,
Yeah,
so
over
all
there.
of this stuff, yeah, all of this stuff, you can tell Usher's really trying to make it in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he wants in life. People see him and they're like, "Hey, you got talent. Let's try to show you off. Let's do this."
From
So
a
this
young
is
age.
from a very young,
Mm-hmm.
13, bro. So following the performance, he arranged an audition for Usher with L.A. Reid, the co-founder of L.A. Face. Reid signed Usher on the spot to a contract with the record company after Usher sang Boys to Men, hit record End of the
Mm.
Road. Usher's mother left her job as a medical technician to manage his career. Usher was
Wow.
introduced to the public on Call Me a Mac. So that's the song he talked about, like Call Me a Mac or
Call,
whatever.
call me a Mac.
Yeah, he said that on the podcast. A song, a song he recorded for the soundtrack album to the 93 drama romance film Poetic Justice. During this time period, the young Usher first met Chili of TLC, his label mate, whom he would later date. So far, we see that Usher has made it somewhere, but usually when you make it on your first record label or whatever, you really don't make that much money for it, because in most cases, it sounds like the record labels you initially make, you don't have any representatives, you don't have any big time lawyers reading over your contracts, you don't really have power to negotiate because you're new here. You see all the lights and flashes and glamour, you're just trying to get a step into the industry. So I'm pretty sure Usher didn't make it off of this record label. He got a lot of exposure. I don't think his riches really came from this though. Preparing for his debut album, Usher lost his voice. Usher was going through puberty and had a difficult time adjusting his voice. L.A. Reid became skeptical of Usher and put his album on hold. He thought about dropping him from the label. Usher pleaded
Dang.
with the label to keep him, and they did. From this point, Reid didn't know what to do with Usher, so he sent him to New York in the spring of
New York.
94 to live with record executive Puff Daddy to attend what Reid called Flavor Camp. This paragraph has so much content in
Flavor
it.
Camp. That sound kind of fishy to me. Flavor Camp. That sound a little bit.
As a
The
grown man, why would you name any
Flavor
program
Camp.
Flavor? camp flavor.
Like, bro, that it sound too Skittles to me, bro. It sound like Taste the Rainbow action.
Hey man, that's a sketchy snack, man. Taste the rainbow.
Yeah, what they mean by that, bro?
Some man in a sick joke.
This is what camp sound like. Flavor camp sound like Skittles, bro. Sound like
Yeah, it does.
a lot of different flavors of I don't know what, but it sound kind of crazy, man.
So he was having a hard time after being signed to the biggest record label in his career. He went through puberty, and then the guy was like, "Hey man, we're gonna let you go because I don't know what to do with you because you're supposed to be performing, but you can't." And I was just like, "Oh no, please, oh no, I need you, I'll do anything,
know.
I'll do anything." And then the guy's like, "All right, I know a guy who runs Flavor Camp. I need you to attend front row seats."
We might have to take a deeper dive, pause into Flavor Camp, bro, to see
We would.
because I don't understand what that's about. Flavor Camp, like it was already open. How many other guys went through the Flavor Camp? This is wild, man.
This is wild. Isn't this crazy though? I told you this goes deep. This is wild. I told you, man. And I just put up this article today. This isn't something I'll be sitting on for 4 or 5 days. Pause. I'm not sitting on anything.
Huh?
I'm sitting in a chair. You know what I'm saying? That's chill, man. Chill.
We gotta
chill.
Get them in the comments, man. That was crazy.
Man, come on. That was
crazy.
That was unexpected. That's all I can say about that. So he didn't know what to do. So he sent him to Puff Daddy to attend Flavor Camp. So Usher quickly adapted to the lavish lifestyle of Puff Daddy, although in an interview with Rolling Stone, he described this period as the hardest days of his life. I had to knuckle up, figure stuff out in New York. This isn't, we're never gonna hear artists come out and male artists come out and say, I did homosexual things with Puff Daddy. No one's ever gonna come out and say that. I did sketchy stuff with, I had to do some sketchy stuff in order to make it. No one's ever gonna come out and say it. You gotta see, unless
if they've been done wrong and their career didn't take off. Then they're spilling it. But if their career took off, they want to keep it running. So who's to say that the thing that happened, but they're not saying nothing because they know if they say something, down comes the lights. But if you already have if you already been turned, if your light already been turned off, oh yeah, you saying everything.
Yes,
you spilling everything out.
Yep. Yes, you are.
The one time here, the one time there. Yeah,
that's a great point, man. That is a great point. And I do have something to point out too in the podcast that I don't think people caught. If you caught it, good for you. But I'm going to point it out to you after this. On August 30th, 94, LA Face released Usher's self-titled debut album behind the co-executive production of Sean P. Diddy Combs. Usher peaked at number 25 on the Billboard Top R&B Hip Hop Albums chart and was accompanied by 3 singles. Oh my goodness. Okay. So just to recap, here's a little kid trying to make it, performing in parking lots and in random places, gets to try out on a show, eventually makes it to a record label, hits puberty, can't sing, almost gonna get dropped by the record label, pleads and fights, and then the record label sends him to the sketchiest, well, one of the sketchier guys that we know of right now in the music industry. And then returns back with a number 25 on the Billboard charts and 3 hit singles afterwards. What?
He definitely pressed some buttons. After that flavor camp, the buttons of the executive, like, okay, as soon as we do a certain thing, and if we complete whatever we need to do, I'm gonna talk to this guy, that guy, and we're gonna get you on there. That's it. Like I think these buttons were some of the easiest buttons to press.
Oh my gosh.
He just had to make a few calls and boom. After whatever they needed to initiate happened.
Because from what I know, these guys don't do this stuff just for money. Well, money? They need something out of
They
it.
got a lot of money. Like they need something else
Yeah.
that excites them. What else excites them?
Yes.
You gotta ask them that. I
Yes.
don't know what else excites them.
Exactly. And we know what excites P. Diddy. Usher spent a lot of time with him. So this man, P. Diddy, obviously didn't do it just for the money. Oh, Usher, you're a great talent. I just want to help you prosper and I get some money from it. Yeah, sure. That's how these guys work. They don't work that way. To be plain and simple, they don't work that way. They want something out of it. So yeah, he comes out of the flavor camp, top 25 billboard. Some people spend their whole careers practicing, training, refining their music talent, and they never even make it on the billboards anywhere close.
Bro.
Anywhere
Yeah.
close.
There's so many good artists out there
Yeah.
that are good, man, but you never hear about them. Locally, they're probably doing something pretty good. But they're probably not big locally either, but they're probably just really good. Like if we were just to compare them, you
Mhm.
would see, dang, a lot of people that aren't seen are phenomenal out here.
Yeah.
You know, but like I mentioned, that one girl, I can't remember her name at the moment. Apparently, she was doing music and she just couldn't get by until she signed the papers. That's when everything started to fly. Everything started to fly for her. And what does she have to do to get the papers?
The devil's in the details. I want you to pull up the podcast for me one more time. And I want you to take it back a couple minutes when he started to talk about his experiences in New York. And just look at the body language change from when he was talking about, you know, all the normal stuff to his experiences in New York.
When you live with P. Diddy, they call it flavor camp.
Flavor camp.
Uh-oh.
So what was that
Whoa.
experience like, and how did that help Usher's career?
I think I don't think I would be the artist that I am today without the experiences that I had in New York City. One, just being in a new place where I would have to adjust, right? I didn't have the comfort of home. I'm in New York City and they was, you know, done and sunning me to death, bro. And I was like,
I don't know if that means anything though.
Yeah, it doesn't have to mean anything, but he kept doing it. And he wasn't doing it the whole interview at all. And after he stopped talking about those experiences, he relaxed again. So that time in his life was really
Uncomfortable.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, because he did look a little bit uncomfortable a little bit. Now that you say it, and I'm just watching, he
Yeah.
did look a little bit fidgety.
Yes, he
Yeah.
did. Usually I'd be like, oh, go ahead.
That's it.
Yeah, usually I'd be like, you know, it's just people and stuff. But that when you watch the whole interview, that's not how he's acting the whole interview. And then he talks about these experiences, and then he talks about how they put him on and all of this stuff. It didn't come free. I'm just saying. So at this point, I think I'm beating a dead horse. Like I said in the beginning, this was a very boring interview. Like he didn't do the things that other people do on Club Shay's podcast that allows the interview to elevate to a certain level. Like he wasn't a relatable person, and all of the stuff that he was talking about just kind of like he kind of glazed over his experiences. This is this and this is that.
Yeah.
Blah blah. You know?
Yeah. I mean, because if you think about it, I mean, we talk about the Monique and the Cat Williams. They've been wronged. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, people that's been wronged and they feel like they've been cheated in some way, they're ready to say something to get somebody back. And because I think he's in good standings with people, why say anything to disrupt when nothing needs to come out or you're
Right.
not on the chopping block end, you know? So I think because things are going good, there's nothing shocking that he's gonna say. It's all gonna be it's gonna be a regular type
Yeah.
of interview. That's what I'm thinking.
And you think Usher gets along with everybody?
No, I don't think he gets along with everybody, but I just think that he's not being wronged in the way that's most popular these days, to where it's affecting his money like it has other people, or his reputation like it has other people. Because what bad things have we heard about Usher? Maybe the age thing, but that's not from any celebrity that's in the game that's higher up. That's just regular folks. He probably got it from, or maybe not. I don't know, but just his situation doesn't have to do with anybody. At least from what is come out, it's nothing against any other artist that's really like beef, or that's really, you know what I mean? So because of that part of it, I think, you know, that's why the interview is so like this, because he don't have anybody to get at, you know, for at least for now. We don't know anything.
True. And here's an assumption though. Usually the people who have nothing to say about any situation are usually the people, because based on the people that Usher is in connection with, like he talked about Jay-Z just hit him up one day and it was like it's time to do maybe some show or something. Like you can't be in connection with these high profile people who have very sketchy things going on and you also be very successful and say anything sketchy about them. You can't. So from my conclusion, since Usher can't come on here and say truths about certain events or about certain people, he's in that group. That's just my assumption, right?
Yeah, I think that makes sense, and I think that's a high possibility.
Possibility, yeah.
From the connections that we know he had, or
Mm-hmm.
probably still has.
Yep. The interview was very sketchy to me, but when I heard that, it kind of blew it out the water. And then he said the whole Jay-Z thing, and then he brought in Beyonce. And I was like, this dude is just in the mix. He might be amongst the people. This is just my personal opinion, not Eddie Ed's. He might be in the mix with those people, some of those people that Cat Williams was talking about, Monique was talking about. He's in the mix with those people. It is what it is. It's interesting to find out these things about these celebrities and stars that we generally don't really think anything about. We just think, oh, they're really, really good musicians. But why are they really, really good musicians? Most of the time it's business. Most of the time it's transactions, monetarily, pleasure-wise, like not anything sexual, but like pleasure-wise isn't like what satisfies their flesh, right? Because these people are living in sin. They're in the world. I mean, what kind of guy, not to judge, but it is an odd thing, what kind of guy pierces his actual ears? Did you see that?
I saw that. I for a second, I thought he was wearing headphones, but I was like, oh yeah, no,
He's
piercings.
got diamond earphones. Yeah. What kind of guy pierces his ear, his actual inside cartilage of his ear, dog?
That's crazy.
Some things are off, right? And I think these are the things that happen when you live in the flesh. You're not supposed to live in the flesh. We're people who have flesh bodies, as the Bible says. God breathed life into our bodies. So when you're living by the flesh, you do strange things, you do odd things, you seem normal to people, but in the background, some weird stuff is going on. Right. So living in the flesh produces nothing but dead things because the flesh is always dying. Therefore, it can't have you do things that bring life. It's impossible. It's impossible. How do you make an old woman young again? You can't. But her spirit is there. Her spirit is always there, desiring things that make it live, that gives it life. Right. So you'll meet those old people who are like very old, but they're lively because their spirits have been, they're full, right? I'm not talking about Christians especially, but you meet those people, they're always, bringing things to the party. Hey, they're lively and stuff. It has nothing to do with their flesh. But when you live in your flesh, you're always doing things that pleases the flesh. And therefore you're going to die along with it. You're starving your spirit. So it's just strange things like this that I see. And it's cool too, because we're doing a lot of these reactions to these people. And I'm already starting to see a trend. Hopefully someone sees this and is able to fact check what we said or how we're thinking about the situation. But Usher is one of those ones that are sneaking around until some big comes up and then everyone's like, oh, Usher, no way.
Do you think, do you think Usher's up are going to be next in line or in line of the being exposed? Usher did something to me in the past type of thing.
Honestly, because of the line of people that he's in connection with, I don't think things are gonna come out about him. That's just me.
Okay.
What do you think?
I mean, I think it's possible. I think
Yeah.
because the hardest thing about these type of situations is that you don't know what is the real and what is the truth and what is the lie. We can't do it off of just he say, she say. That's the toughest part. It sounds good. It sounds entertaining to find out, oh shoot, I can't believe it. But is it really it? Or is it really not it? That's the tough part. Like we don't know the facts 100%. We can just go off of what people say. So I think just because people can say something, he's probably next. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think just because people could make up lies, bro, they're gonna get anybody, bro. Anybody can get these lies. Now they got to put together some good evidence to make it look real if it's fake, you know, or if it's real, they just got to bring it out. It's really tough. It's getting tougher and tougher to know what is the truth when it comes to allegations.
At the end of the day, I would encourage you to live in truth, not what you find to be true, but in truth. Living by anything other than that is going to cause death. You may not see it, you may not expect it coming, but it will come. There are principles to life. And when you don't live by those principles, well, you're fighting literal nature. It's like going in a thunderstorm and asking why there's lightning and thunder. Like, what do you expect? This is the principle of a thunderstorm, to be chaotic. So how do you expect peace in chaos? You just sound crazy. So live by truth, live by God's word, seek Christ in your life, seek truth, look to be saved, desire it, because when you live in that, in God's will, that's where there's peace in life. Don't seek all of this stuff that's not going to bring you any satisfaction in the long run. It'll feel great in the moment, but thank you guys for watching.
Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's have a conversation.